Welcome back. The U.S. Army announcing a $52 million deal to acquire more than 2,000 drones from my next guest company. Skydio, a leading American drone manufacturer, focuses on autonomous flight and leveraging artificial intelligence to create the world's most intelligent flying machines. Skydio drones are used by first responders, government, utility, and enterprise customers. Now, the Army is purchasing 2,500 Skydio X-10D drones, the largest order of small unmanned aircraft systems from a single manufacturer in Army history. Joining me now is the CEO of Skydio, Adam Bry. Adam, great to have you. Congrats on this big contract.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited to have you. And you may know I've been doing this deep dive on drone technology because it really has changed warfare. I know more than 50% of your business is public safety, and we'll get to that in a moment. But tell us how the face of warfare is changing.
So I think this has been a building wave over the last few years. Ukraine was really the first striking data point for many folks. And it changes warfare fundamentally. I mean, it's a 2 order of magnitude reduction in the cost of these things. And the weapons that we're using in Iran today are very effective, but they're incredibly expensive. And so there's a huge asymmetry against our adversaries. I think drones are the answer.
The president wants that Strait of Hormuz open. So what has Iran been doing to actually intimidate these $100 billion oil tankers from actually traveling through the strait? They're using low-cost drones. But tell us what's going on. And can you and the other American-made American drone manufacturers actually turn this around?
Yeah, I mean, basically, Iran's using a bunch of drones. So these are relatively low-cost systems. They're the same drones that they've been supplying to Russia, that Russia's been using against Ukraine. So unfortunately, that technology has been sharpened over the last few years. And I think the answer ultimately is more drones from us. So there's all different kinds of drones out there, big ones, small ones, armed ones, surveillance ones. The ones that we make are called short-range reconnaissance. So it's really a tool that operates at the soldier level. It's very easy to put in the air. It gives them real-time awareness of everything around them, gives them the ability to make better decisions, gives them the ability to find targets that they can strike with other munitions. And I think this is a really, really critical capability in the arsenal.
And they're referred to as hunters versus killers, right? And you do lots of hunters, which is you're hunting for surveillance, hunting for the enemy, and then you're sharing that information, surveillance, with the killers, which might have a warhead on it.
Exactly. Right? It's 2 different classes of systems, because the hunters need to have advanced sensors, they need to have advanced radios, they can send communication back and forth. The killers are really designed to be as cheap as possible and just be a one-way. It's basically like a flying bomb. So we're focused on the surveillance drones, which we know from Ukraine is critical capability. They constantly have these things in the air looking for targets, and then they strike them with the one-way attack drones.
Tell us about the surveillance. What kind of surveillance are you doing, and what information is critical in terms of passing that on to the quote-unquote killer drones?
So this is capability that used to cost $1 million or more per system, and now it's 100 times cheaper than that. So we have high-resolution thermal cameras that can see at night. We have advanced zoom cameras that can see incredible detail many miles away. And then we have GPS-denied navigation capability. So on the modern battlefield, GPS is almost always jammed, comms is often jammed. So there's a huge amount of technology on the drone to make these things resilient and capable. All of this is based on hard lessons we learned in Ukraine over the last few years. So I've been a couple of times. Our team has spent a lot of time there. We've iterated based on the feedback we've gotten. And fortunately now that's all built into the systems that the Army is using and benefiting from.
That is so awesome. And in terms of getting jammed, tell us what that means in terms of the jams that the enemy is trying to do, trying to jam up our drones.
So the dominant technologies, I think, in modern warfare are basically drones and then counter-drone technology. And the primary counter-drone technology is jamming. So the 2 elements of that are spoofing or denying GPS. So you can block out GPS, or you can also create false GPS signals that will mislead the drone into where it is. So you basically need to be able to navigate completely independent from GPS. And then the other technology is jamming the communication link. So basically looking for the frequency that the drone is operating on, trying to put a lot of noise into that spectrum. And the way you deal with that is anticipating it and hopping across a bunch of different frequencies such that you can maintain the communication link.
Adam, this is so exciting. Yesterday, we did another look from another angle, and I spoke with the co-founder of Anduril Industries and the executive chairman, Trey Stevens, was with me about it. Here's what he said. Watch this.
You have drones that are going out and looking for other things, like our Ghost platform. You have loitering munitions that fly around looking for things, and then when they find those things, they can go and take kinetic action against them. And then you have platforms like our Barracuda 500 that are actually they're missiles that are intended to go after targets directly. So I think you need to have every layer of this system figured out in a way where we're not relying on incredibly expensive Cold War era technology, but we're leveraging the advances in manufacturing techniques, the advances in autonomy in the manufacturing system to produce at high scale at very low cost.
Adam, and it's really important to recognize that China is also competing on a high level, and we need to ensure that we can mass produce some of these drones. Particularly, the president wants you and other companies to start mass producing. Tell us about the China threat.
So one of the very clear trends over the last 10 years as drones have become more and more important is that this is dual-use technology. I mean, the same stuff that goes into a consumer drone or a civilian drone or a drone for public safety is very relevant on the battlefield. And you can see this in Ukraine. Both the Ukrainians and Russians are using a bunch of consumer drones and consumer drone technology on the battlefield. And you can see with what we're doing at Skydio. You know, it's the same core technology foundation that applies to our critical infrastructure customers, our public safety customers, as well as the battlefield. And so I think what that means is the competition in the civilian world is actually incredibly relevant from a national security standpoint. It's just untenable, and it would be completely insane to accept a future where we're dependent on drone technology from our adversaries. So I think this has become increasingly obvious over the last few years. And we've seen huge momentum towards building up domestic supply chains, building up domestic capacity. And look, we're the beneficiary of an overwhelming preference from our customers to buy American products, which is great.
Yeah, which is why I was railing for so many years about the fact that the U.S. was buying drones from DJI, a Chinese company, and we still have some drones in our arsenal, and certainly components from China. But let's talk about your other business, because more than 50% of your business is actually public safety. You've got contracts and arrangements with law enforcement across the country, and the story that you told me on Sunday I thought was so compelling in Colorado. Tell us what you were able to do as a result of drones, your drones in Colorado.
So our law enforcement customers are going to do over 1 million flights this year. So we're talking thousands of flights per day, and every one of those is some kind of incredible impact story. There was the example in Colorado where there was a shooting at an apartment complex. The drone got there in 30 seconds. It got there just in time to see the perpetrator putting the gun back into his pocket and heading back into his apartment building. And so the difference for the responding officers, now they know exactly who the guy is. They know he's still armed. They know where he is. Without the drone, they have no idea. They're showing up at this place. They don't know where he is. It could be a multi-hour, multi-day manhunt. It's dangerous for them. It's dangerous for the community. In this case, it was over in 5 minutes, and they could help the victim of the shooting. And that kind of thing's happening all the time, whether it's a missing person, somebody fleeing the scene of a crime. It just gives the officers an asymmetric advantage. And it does so in a very targeted, precise way that still protects people's privacy and also is an element of accountability. I mean, it's similar to a flying body camera that just documents what's happening on the ground.
And I know, Adam, you got the docking station sometimes on top of a fire station, right? You work with the NYPD. How many law enforcement, like 2,200 law enforcement agencies you're working with right now? Explain how it works.
Yeah, so we've got 3,800 customers of all sorts, different organizations. We have 1,200 law enforcement customers in the U.S. And you're exactly right with the docking station. So I think this is the single most important trend that isn't broadly understood yet, but it's a total paradigm shift in how drones are used. The old way of using a drone is you send a pilot out there to fly the thing manually. So they're holding a controller, they're looking up and flying the drone. It's one-to-one operation. The new way is you put the drone in a docking station, deploy it wherever you might need it, and it's available and ready to fly 24/7. So it's connected to the internet, it's charging, and then it's single click of a button, or you can just schedule a mission and the drone will go off and do its task. It's really kind of flying robot infrastructure. And we know from our customers that drones that live in docking stations are flown 10x as much as the manually flown ones. So this isn't broadly appreciated yet, but I think within the next few years in the U.S., if you call 911, there's going to be an expectation that drone shows up in 30 to 60 seconds and fundamentally changes outcomes. It's just the way policing is going to work.
That is incredible. Do you have to gain scale? Do you have to partner with a bigger company in order to gain scale here?
No, we're scaling organically. We're at an extremely exciting point where we made some big technology bets. We've been at it for the last 12 years. We bet very big on AI and autonomy in 2014, and
Okay.
we're at a moment where the demand for these products is going through the roof. So we're building all of them in California. We've delivered 60,000 drones to date. We're going to 3x our output over the course of this year, and the business is really on fire.
Wow. Congratulations, Adam. Great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adam Bry joining us, Skydio. We'll be right back with another big hour.